What inspires me to make clothes? I would say the number one thing that inspires me is people. Like, I'm one of those designers that I'm always looking for what's the void. You know, my my wild card that brought me in the game, I guess, what I'm wearing right now was all about filling a void that, at the time nobody was doing trucker hats, and I felt like it was a void. Like, you know what? Let me bring back that kind of Americana, gas station 18-wheeler, like you might something you might find in the Goodwill vibe, and that's been my fashion business card at this point. But besides that, I think also the will to think what others aren't thinking. I think it's so funny. Before coming here, I was at a gas station and the guy asked me, "Is this my uniform?" And I'm like, "No, I'm just going somewhere." And it's like that gave me like a nice battery in my back to be like, I think that just helped the question to be answered at least.
Have you always been fashionable or like into fashion when you were younger? Like, what made you into fashion? Is this something you always been stylish? Elaborate on that.
I think, yes, probably since the womb I've been into fashion, but really it's always been about art. Like one of the first things I could draw by memory was a Power Rangers, and Power Rangers is something that kind of is true to my heart. They always say don't ever lose the kid inside you, so I always got to have like a Power Ranger something or something to remind me in my office to like just kind of just bring that back. But going back to the question, definitely since a kid, like it wasn't until maybe I think when I got my first retail job at the Gap is when I realized I definitely have a calling in this, because I've just always been that person. Somebody's like, what should I wear, or what's the newest trend, or what you wear. Someone's always like looking for me, like for the next wave. And now I'm at this point, just me at 36, I'm realizing what my superpower is, and it is that kind of trend forecasting, if you want to say. So I think I've just always been ahead since a kid, and fashion has just been a something that's in every chapter of my book.
Okay.
My top 5 favorite cover art from artists of Atlanta. I'm gonna have to say number 1, shout out my boy DL Warfield, who did ATLians. That was just, the colors on that is just so RGB, so we can just go with that, number 1. Number 2, let's go with, I just want to say T.I. I'm Serious, just on some West Side shit, but it set a tone. Number 3, and I'm gonna just say this just because I remember this CD cover. What was it? Purple Ribbon All Stars with Big Boy with the kryptonite. We had that on it. That was a good one. Goody Mob, Soul Food, of course. Hello, is you crazy? Oh, and Jeezy, Thug Motivation 101. Right? I think that's a good 5.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody gonna beat me up online, right?
If you had to recreate a cover art, what cover art would it be, and how would you recreate it?
If I had to recreate a cover art, how would it be if I created? Dang, that's a hard one. I might say Michael Jackson Thriller. Only because I just found out Michael Jackson, I mean, there's like little side stories that Michael Jackson kind of was like, hey, don't show Mike, but he's finna take some of that sauce real quick, and no disrespect, but he just knew how to be like, oh, you don't know what to do with that. Let me show you how to do this. So it's like this story going on Instagram of this guy named Alfonso Alfonso something, but you can look it up or whatnot. But they say he like, but even though Teddy Pendergrass did that same pose, but it's like, but I think I would love to I would redo Thriller, and I would just put the werewolf cat on that joint on there, just on some like, let these folks know that there's some scary shit. Like, because I mean that video was so iconic that I would have just went like that. I just would have been wearing Michael Jackson.
We know that you also do merchandise. Like, can you go into how your role in merchandise?
Yeah, I think I started with Wayne in 2023, maybe 22, doing merch for Wayne, Lil Wayne, and that's been a fun ride too, just because Wayne is somebody who I think we all looked up to, like from getting tattoos to, you know, if you dabble in the recreational drugs, I'm not to say that's what started it, but you know, the influence was real with Lil Wayne, and now, you know, me being an adult, just kind of once again going back to my childhood of going to high school, driving my car, you know, having dedication one, you know, all them dope mixtapes that really, you know, molded my sense of style and just my music choice as well too. But definitely it's not what you know, it's who you know. And I definitely got to shout out to people like Karen Civil and you know, just my other buddies that always is kind of throwing something my way of, you know, hey, I got a merch opportunity for you.
Okay, top 5 favorite Wayne covers. You want to do that?
I mean, yeah, we can. Why not?
And then you could go into the spiel about the cat in there too. I was gonna tell you to do that.
No, for sure. What are my top 5 Wayne covers? Definitely I go number 1, Carter 1. Number 2, we'll go Dedication 1. Number 3, Carter 2. Number 4, maybe No Ceilings. I kind of like No Ceilings. And number 5, The Drought. I gotta put The Drought in there. That's some, if you know Wayne joints. And you know, even leading to shout out to Wayne and the whole Young Money team of me being able to do my cover art with him, the cat food single for that was on the recent Carter 6. Shout out to Young Money, man. It's just dope to be a part of history.
All right.
Did I say it right?
Can you explain like RGB and ROYGBIV? Isn't that like the rainbow or something like? Is it red, orange, yellow, whatever it is?
So, what is RGB? What is ROYGBIV? It's in the same family. It's in the same ecosystem. For those who are not familiar, you know, some schools taught this, some didn't, but it's always been a dope conversation piece with anybody I meet who kind of sees this logo. But of course, ROYGBIV is red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet, and pretty much it's how we see everything, from the sky being blue, grass being green, that phone being red. It's everything. And you know, with this word, it can be a little intimidating for someone to say, and they're like, what is it, Roy? But that's where RGB came in to kind of shorten it in a certain thing. One thing about me, I'm a super numbers guy. So ROYGBIV is 7 letters. You know, if you're familiar, 7 is the number of completion. But I'm also a fan of Nikola Tesla, and Nikola Tesla did everything in 369. So RGB is 1, 2, 3. Once again, it's bringing back to when I worked at the Gap. When I would see that Gap hoodie, that GAP, I'm like, man, why everybody like this so much? I kind of brought that same ethos, put it in this, and you know, I wanted this hat to be, like I said, something that you found in the thrift store for $3 and you're like, oh my God, it's my favorite hat now. And freight was just inspiration just from growing up on the west side of Atlanta, you know, not too far from where we at right now, and seeing 18-wheelers and truck stops and, you know, the petrol over there right there by the Blue Flame. Like it just was an inspiration piece that, like I said, ended up being my fashion business card where I was able to hand it out to everybody, but still get paid for it.
If you had to choose like one cover art that you feel like accentuate a lot of fashion or style, what would that be?
If I had one cover art that I felt insinuated fashion and style,
what'd you say?
Fashion and style.
Tell me I can't talk right now.
What's that Nas cover art where he's like a pharaoh? I Am. That's one of my favorite. Where he where he basically transformed his face into a pharaoh. That's what I would say fashion and style, because if you look at like a Rick Owens runway, he would do something like that where he'll have the models in a pharaoh joint with your face all gold. But that was just a hard album, just even sonically. Like it was like stuff that you could play on the runway. Like it was I Am, right? Nas I Am. Did you look it up?
Oh yeah. I'm trying to.
My bad. I think that's what it is. Yeah, Nas I Am. Like I just remember my auntie having that album and playing that, and that was like, or was it Nostradamus? Oh, it is. Okay, I just want to make sure. No disrespect. Shout out to Nasir Jones, man. Yeah. But yeah, that's the one I would say. I just, if just going back to on some, like, it was just art. But that's how I look at fashion, I think. Yo, it's your boy RGB Twon, man. I'm at What You See Before You Hear with Cover Art Matters.